Cool. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I'm not connected, so I'm just gonna go to Twitter real quick.
Yeah, while Felipe is doing this, Gui, tell us how are you?
I am good. I am excited. There's a bunch of stuff going on. I'm trying to make sense of things at this moment. Monday is always like this, right? But I'm pretty stoked with all the things coming out, and all of the moving parts are starting to make sense in my head. So super excited.
Okay, so just real quick, this DAO Tooling thing is just an in-depth research of a lot of the most used tools out there right now. Very useful. So feel free, guys, when you see people coming into our Discord asking for help, just link them to this. And here you can collect this pretty NFT. And if you collect this NFT, you help us. And the fund has a particular split. You can see the split here. Mirror is really cool. And the other thing that's coming is to, well, we haven't claimed. All the other people have claimed really in a hurry. It's funny. Basically, there's a lot of other things that are going to come in this mirror. And if you guys also have ideas for collaboration content that you guys want to do in the mirror, just reach out to probably Gama would be the right person, or Inga, or me, or something. And I think I'm also going to start putting out like the community calls via Mirror, and there's an NFT project coming, the DAOist Perspectives, that you guys probably heard of in the past. It's actually going to happen now. And that's it on my side, I think, from the Mirror.
Yeah, who wants to be the next one? Guys, I mean, please.
Not everybody has to speak, but if you have something to share, some intelligence, some DAO development, some emotion, there's an open space at the beginning of the call.
No one wants to talk.
No, it's okay. It happens. It's normal.
That's fine.
All right, cool. So let's move on to business because everybody's very busy. I want to introduce you guys to Dawn. You probably heard a couple of things about Dawn, and it's becoming very real over the last 3 weeks. We have a custom NFT deployment contract that deploys ranked 1155s that can do different things. It's a cool development. We got support from Curve Labs for this development. The idea kept growing and people kept building on it, and it's now going to be part of Prime DAO. It's going to be part of Collectivo, the Collectivo protocol, which is something we haven't really announced a lot by the DAOist yet, but we will. It's a framework and protocol for building of regenerative economies that are going to be deployed in the sub-blockchain with a prototype starting in Curacao, and then it's going to go global. It's another initiative by Collectivo Labs. We're just all messed up in this social impact thing, as you guys have noticed. So let me give you a little bit of an update on what's going to be happening with Dawn, and basically what events are coming and what avenues of engagement with the DAOists there are. And I would love, because I can't see your faces, I would love you if you're vocal, if something makes you excited or something is disgusting, or if you have an idea, just feel free to open your mic and say something, including the team, please. All right? Because I'm just looking at the slide here, feeling completely autistic. Cool, let's go.
Disgusting.
So, what's disgusting?
Sorry, it was a joke. I'm vocal.
It was a great joke. Thank you for the joke. Cool. So, over the last 3 weeks, there was a lot of talk with the elders. I would say 75% of the elder group that we presented, those 12 people, are active and helping and doing stuff. And it's been invaluable as fuck. I love having elders. Sorry, I should curse a little less in my life in general. But I love having the elders. And we also presented a deck for the ambassadorships, the large sponsorships that I've been talking about. I'm not sharing the deck widely yet because I went specifically to Moloch and the EF with like a front run opportunity. These are grant giving organizations, so they're a bit confused of why I'm offering them something that has benefits and a sponsorship. And it's been an interesting conversation with both to see how it's going. They have reacted positively so far, but I don't have any particular announcements with those two. And we're also opening soon the ministries. So if you have an organization that wants to support the DAOist with a not so large amount of funds and support specifically Dawn, which is this DAO that has specific goal of governing the Lisbon Meta Hub, which is where we intend to start all the residencies and also build the frameworks for what the global picture of the DAOist is. So how people create other embassies, how people organize other DAOists. These are things that we have to discover together. And this Meta Hub will be the place for us to share the resources. I don't have any final announcements on venue because it hasn't materialized yet. It's really hard, but it will be something that will have at least 6 dorm beds, and it will have a space for at least 25 people co-working together, and a technical lab and an art lab. I've talked about this before. I talked about this in Lisbon, so I expect everybody to have a sense of what it is. If you have questions, let me know. So why do I feel so strongly about this, and why do I am incurring such a large opportunity cost to be like leading this specific vision of this? Is because I feel that if we leave this job, outreach, lobby, education, communications, to people who are financially incentivized to do it, we're not going to change much of the natural like business mechanics. We're just going to paint new colors on the revolving doors that have already been there. And we're going to even make it more effective because of crypto. So there's a hidden danger. This is how the final design for governance looks. This was done in collaboration with a set of the elders, everybody who wanted to talk about it had a chance. So basically, if you're an organization that sponsored us in the past, you're already going to have governance over Dawn. So you can see here, there were 5 master sponsors, 24 sister DAO sponsors, and 17 rider DAO. And there's a particular set of governance that's going to be allocated via these NFTs. They're basically, these are badges, and then you get a delegate token that you can distribute. There's different sizes. So if you have like 5 voting points as a master, for example, you can actually distribute that within more agents, right? These agents are the people who are going to have power over Dawn and access to the Lisbon Meta Hub and access to all the other initiatives. You're also going to have, in general, like front run powers over DAOist tickets, which has become a whole problem. So it's worth it to be part of this governing set to make sure you can be there. And so basically, this is a slide from the deck where I'm offering the ambassadorships. There are only 5. The price that we're asking for them is 75,000 USDC. And these are the funds that will be used mainly for the Meta Hub, meaning rent, furnishing, equipment, team, all of these things. And then the ministries, these are the funds we're going to be used for like the global Dawn initiatives and funding the core team and advisories or stewards and all the freelance and service work that we need. We have upped the core governance power, mostly because one, we're not likely to have 10 people at all times working at core. Earning a core token will be considerably hard, and the DAO will be able to burn and mint these tokens. And they're once earned, they are a position. They have to be sustained. You have to be working at the DAO. It won't just be something that you have because you were there at the beginning. So me in conversation with Peter and some of the other elders, they suggested that this could be an important layer of protection for this DAO. I agreed, and we did it. So this is what's out there. If you have opinions, if you want to improve on this, or at least make your voice heard on this, it would be super cool. So you're super welcome to have these conversations. I think this is important because if we pull this off, this whole like meta coordination machine for storytelling for DAOs, we are going to equip everyone with this like shared set of cultural artifacts that are useful, and everybody needs them, and every DAO's trying to do them. Everybody's doing all this parallel work. So the DAOist can be the place where we can actually have a sort of collective roadmap of things to be produced and actually get to doing them in a rational, stepped way. So we have a little bit of a roadmap here. So what we want is between now and April next year to mostly figure out the main moving parts and get this funded so we can have a really fun, creative 2022. So the launch of the other and core contracts still for December, or like actually we already have them live in Rinkeby. It's on my pipeline to test them and to rig the snapshot in the test net and see if it works. Then I hope to find, I think I will be able, with the new support that I have from also the Portugal elders that are providing legal phase, they're providing contract templates, they're providing like guarantees of all the problems that we could have with the law, etc. I think I'm pretty safe that we can close on something and move in January 1st. So that's the goal right now. And we, as you know, we have 12 elders. The other ones we want to get in via DAO. We want people to self-determine their desire for leadership. And if you are one of these people, start thinking on how you're going to approach us or approach the DAO and say, yo, here's what I want to do. There's my vision, okay? And then hopefully in January, we're going to move into the Meta Hub and start getting the ministries in. I did have one organization that I really like, and I couldn't not accept their ministry offers. It happened today, which is Fire Eyes. Fire Eyes said, like, look, we're super in. We want to help. We are elders. We like Vo is an elder, and I was okay. So if anybody thinks this was a mistake, let me know. I can send funds back. I can follow due process, but I don't know. I was just happy to have Vo in the book. And if you are one of these organizations that might want to be a ministry, and you really don't care the terms before I put them out, and you just really want to be in, I think those doors are officially open. If Vo can do it, you can do it. So the sponsor contracts, actually what's happened is we actually front-run ourselves. The way we developed this technology with this one contract that deploys 1155s, they're all like we can customize them, will actually allow us to launch the sponsor contracts with all the other contracts, which probably will make for a functional dawn much earlier than expected, which how often do you hear that in crypto? So I'm pretty excited about it. And then we're going to have to do all the base governance work, which is creating the constitution, a future emissions policy, which means that sponsoring from now on will give progressively less and less governance power. And I have to design this and co-design this with the DAO. And this is something that's happening. So if this is something that's interesting for you, the main inspiration for this sort of power decay, reward decay. So the idea is that the sponsorship bonus stays good or even better progressively, but the governance power will be progressively less directly related to sponsorships and more directly related to contributions and whatever, how the DAO wants to define itself. Also, please unlock your microphone if you have opinions on this. And the other thing that we have to figure out in January, and we're going to talk about it in the end, like in the second half of this call, and I hope everybody participates, it's what is the framework for you to do with the DAOist by yourself, right? So we've invited 2 teams to try the first time. One of them is the people who organize MetaCon, led by Yaler, to do a DAOist in Denver. I'm going to talk about them later. And the other one is in Barcelona. Chui is already organizing a DAOist Mexico. Chui is deeply involved with the DAOist since Paris, and he also is organizing one. So we're going to have these events happening leading up to what we want to call the DAOist Dawn, which will be the global governance gathering. Trademark. Don't take this name. It's mine. Haha. This event will happen some point in April, and it will be a different DAOist. The goal is to make like the Davos of DAOs. We're going to give space for all these mega DAOs to come together and do work in person. So it will be more of a conference in the science conference term of the thing. It's not just people talking about their projects. It will be a space for deliberate co-creation for DAOs. That's the vision. If this sounds exciting to you, also reach out and let's work on that together. So as I said, we're gonna have the DAOist Valentine. If Yiller allows me to have this be the theme, we want to make a DAOist about love on the 14th of February. And if you want to volunteer, let us know. We don't have a date for the DAOist Barcelona yet, but it will be around April. And we also want volunteers for that. So if you're based in Barcelona, or if you know somebody who wants to help in Barcelona, let us know. Probably a lot of people are going to be there because this is going to happen around the ETH Barcelona event. It's going to be one of these DAOists that happens together with something same for Denver, ETH Denver. The Mexico City one is actually a different model of DAOist, where it's the community-driven DAOist, where we want to find out if we can have our own gatherings that are not reactive to some other big gathering. So, and then I'm really excited about the possibility of this global governance gathering, which will be probably annoying to some people. That will be highly selected. You'll be for delegates and people who are actually participating in governance in big DAOs. But we are thinking of having a 2-day event. So we have the sort of co-creation full day, and then we have a presentation day of those results in the next day. And that's all I have to say. And then we have the DAOist event guide, which is something. Okay, do you want to take over from here, Inga? Do I still have people here? It's so weird to talk. I have no idea. Yeah.
It should be in the comments. I dropped
in
all
the comments.
Links.
Okay, so how do I see the comments? All right, cool. So
if anyone has any questions in the governance thing, anything to share for.
Yeah, was it too fast? How did I explode the thing or?
Okay, whatever going on. Wanted to ask us anyone using Luma or thinking about
Gamma, your connection is super bad. I can't hear what you're saying. You're like robot really hard. Can you type it in the chat?
How to Paris?
That was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
So we need, by the way, we need a lounge, not a voice chat, right next to it, so we can. It's launch doc. Yeah, perfect.
Does anyone here lives in Lisbon?
I don't think people are really into talking today to us. We're just entertainment.
I'll say two things. Well done. I think it's a really good job, guys. I've been watching for a while, and was at the event in Lisbon. But it looks great. It's coming. It's like it's all starting to come together. The place and the ways in which people can kind of help out. So yeah, I think it's pretty exciting. The mirror is a great step, and if people send in some more content and kind of share their thoughts that way, that's going to be awesome. And yeah, the launch of Dawn looks really good. If you got all the contracts going and the NFTs going for it, it's great. Then it's just a question. The slides look awesome, the artwork looks awesome as well, and I'm sure more and more sponsors are going to want to come on board. So it's looking good to me.
Yeah, I can agree. Looks really cool, and I particularly like the idea of reducing the impact of early funders by making the governance impact they have fade away.
I know, actually, it's kind of the contrary. It's the governance impact that you receive is going to fade away as you come later. It's in this. I like what you said, but at the same time, our early funders are the truest, closest people to us. And they're really the DAO warriors, so they have been in the front line for the last 4 years. So what I want to avoid is that highly capitalized, as we become cooler and more famous, the highly capitalized orgs that are not so aligned can just buy influence. So that's, sorry to correct you, but yeah, I think we got really lucky with the line of defense that was built, basically, and I want to cherish that.
Okay, got it. Is there any way I can read more about this? Like a blog post or article or something?
Not yet, but it's all I haven't. It's still like we're talking to the five on that, because it's kind of like you can don't think about it like this, but just for the sake of practicality, it's like a seed raise, right? So once we close the first 3 ambassadorships, there's going to be a blog post like the main partners, and then everything's going to be there. I would say something in 2 to 3 weeks, which is the timing of the Moloch DAO governance vote. And if you guys have shares on Moloch, go support. The proposal is up there. It's on the forum. Actually, if you that's the best way. If you want more information, just go to that proposal, because everything is there, including the secret deck. They should not be shared. But
Okay.
you heard it here first. No, price of admission is desire. You know how it.
Did you guys see the Genesis Go seed race, which they basically they wrapped the security in an NFT, and it was on Solana. It was hugely successful as a fundraise.
I
don't know if
didn't
this...
see that. No.
Yeah.
Can you post it to the diplomacy or?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can post it. It was a really interesting project, because I think it's sort of borderline, like unclear what it's okay to do. But basically, the storyline was like, we don't want to raise from venture capital. We want to raise from the community. The way we're doing that is we're offering this NFT, and this NFT in the future can convert into a seed token. And yeah, that was hugely successful. Like everybody aped in, and
yeah, it's not too dissimilar than what we're doing. The thing is, we're not talking about a seed token in any way, or have ever said something about it, and there's never going to be a token. Please, maybe, but no, like that's for the DAO to decide, basically. But the mechanism is not too different. But because it's so important to, I mean, this is all fruit of the reflections that have happened in the House Party podcasts and the talks with DAO House, and the whole Good Hearts Law and the Good Hearts Forest conundrum. So how do we keep it as a garden while allowing people who value it to take part and acquire ownership, but then really do the governance dance the way it should be danced, and make sure that, so basically, I am personally uncomfortable creating a token economy or raising vast amount of capital for an untested mechanism that is not actually governing something wisely. And this is something that I want us to discover together. I mean, I'm not a super powerful crypto person or super rich in any way. All that I have is my sincerity and reputation and silliness. And in sort of this triangulation is everything I do, at the service of trying to not have such a shitty stack of social contracts where people are desperate to, I don't know, you know the spiel. Come on. So let's see what happens. But it's like having you guys here and talking at this call and bringing ideas and suggesting. There's not one human that can be aware of everything that's happening with DAOs right now. Like it's so wild. So this is a Discord where we can just like put all the links. For example, Gamma lately has been a little bit uncomfortable with people like talking about their projects and shilling. And I was like, I'm totally fine with that, because I need to find out about this project somehow. So people should maybe just, if you're just coming over and saying, hey, here's my, I think that's totally benign.
yeah.
Okay, so the other thing, the last thing that we had to present, and maybe Inga can show it, I don't know, is the notion of the event guide. Basically, what we did is we went on a Miro board, as we often do, because we are visual thinkers people, and we mapped all the challenges that we faced and how the ones we succeeded in figuring out and the ones we haven't, and created Inga created this interesting timeline of the main questions for putting up a DAOist together. And then we have a human readable form of this, where we're collaborating to add. Can you see this? Yes, I'm still streaming, right? Where we're just putting all the knowledge together, and this is mostly done to support Ayler and Jahed in the process of and Chui in the process of organizing the next DAOists and then the GGG, the Global Governance Gathering, will be done by us again, basically. So that's what we're trying, and then we can see if it was delightful, if it was harsh. We just have to try things, right? So that's kind of where we're going. So I would love if I don't have to talk so much for the next 30 minutes, and you guys can take over.
I just want to congratulate you on the awesome work that's been put into the mechanism design behind this. It seems really concrete. I can't wait for the alpha. And I would like to emphasize what you said about the dangers of creating a token economy. I mean, it's not the way to cultivate a meaningful DAO, basically. It's a very treacherous path. So
yeah, and there is a component of this project specifically that it needs a shit ton of legitimacy and neutrality. It needs to remain as unquestionable as possible for as long as possible and serve as widely as possible. When we started discussing the DAO, it's just like it's like Dawn, for example, as a DAO is a she. You know, it's like her. It's female. It's identified. The Dawn identified. Change it by Volt, because it's just. It is an aggregator function. It's not selective. It's not supposed to be exclusive. It's supposed to be something people can join, but also it needs to start somewhere, right? So I'm trying to walk that blade at the moment. And if you feel like it's doing a bad job, please tell me. It's much more important to do a good job than it's have the job be done by me.
So the idea is going to be that we'll be able to, the other people will be able to put up little things for the DAOist, like do little side events, because it kind of makes me think that, you know, before any Web3 gathering, you know, they should try to throw up at least a meetup, or, you know, and if there's more takers, that it then evolves into something a little bit better. But it would be nice to get, you know, the people who've got the right vibe, and they're not just totally degen altcoin, billionaires. But, you know, the people trying to keep to a little bit more of, you know, who are a bit more into the, you know, the cooperation, coordination, defeat Moloch vibe with the whole thing, and get those people, just give them a little space to meet up just beforehand with some drinks and stuff like that.
That's exactly how the whole thing started, John. Like, exactly. It was just that. It was very funny because nobody ever expected things to, you know, to happen this way.
But also we're trying to figure out, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between the DAOist and any other event. And because I can see that it's different from other crypto conferences. And if we call it a conference, and what is this special? So like, what is this, you know, like essence that we would like to share with other people when they organize, I don't know, like side events? It would be nice to figure it out.
Yeah, I think some of the branding and some of the way in which it's delivered kind of picks the people who are going to come. The vibe attracts the energy attracts the people who want that energy rather than you know, any other kind of energy. So I think it's sort of already got its energy and is attracting the kind of people who are into it. So maybe the magic's already there. It's already just in the name and the branding.
Solved.
Yeah, next thing to think about.
Yeah, also tomorrow we're going to have our first book club meeting at 6 o'clock Central European time. And I'm very happy about that because it's an initiative of one of our community members. Yeah, it's going to be a first alignment call. Yeah, and come over.
Yeah,
I think my internet's better now. And
Yes.
wait. Can you hear me actually?
Yes, we can.
That's
That's
so
so
weird because
strange.
I see the icon of you as muted, but I can hear you. That's bizarre.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that is strange.
Strange. Yeah, I was thinking like we were questioning ourselves like what's the difference between the DAOists and I don't think it's just the visual that like attracts the vibe. It's more like what we are proposing and like from my experience in Lisbon, I didn't see any events having workshops and places to share. And I think like we spoke about this before, and I think this was a huge difference to have like this skill sharing. Like there's a meme in like in underground music, it's like skill sharing keeps the scene alive. And that's what we're doing here, I think. And I think we've been discussing this as well to have more art involved in the DAOists, and I think this is gonna be a game changer as well. As these words became more integrated, like well, NFTs were big, now music NFTs are having a moment as well. So culture is growing. DAO culture is growing. That's why we're here.
To be honest, one of my dreams is to the artwork we had at the previous DAOist in Lisbon that made by Andre. He's a Berlin-based artist that looks like huge eye. I thought it would be really cool to kind of like turn it to NFT and basically like one artist will kind of like fund another artist, and it's going to be like ongoing process. So that's how like previous artist was able to provide for the next one, and it's going to be like a chain of support.
Sounds good. Got to do it, right?
I
Just
like that idea. It's really cool.
Awesome. Yes.
I was going to
Someone
suggest
will
as
need
well,
to
like,
take pictures.
I was going to suggest like a practical thing. Like I've been looking around at like bounty stuff on different DAOs and looking at how they organize the bounties to kind of get traction. And I think it's obviously a whole bunch of different ways. And there's that company, there's that other DAO Layer 3, and they kind of do that on behalf of other DAOs. They kind of start to organize it. But I guess it's all getting into tokenomics and stuff like that. But I think if you're doing book club, there could be like just an hour on one day a week where you go, whoever wants to come down and split them up. I think there is a plugin for Discord where you can do like split people up into different groups and just set them a little challenge or an idea or something that can come out of it. And maybe this way there'll be some more relationships built up around stuff which people want to do. It's like making the space for them to do stuff. Like say there are 3 topics and 5
Exactly.
rooms. Who wants to do it? And just start like that, easy.
Come
So the
tomorrow
dream
to
is
our
once we
call.
no, but
And
wait.
let's do it
I was
together.
gonna say is like as soon as the things are built, like there's a DAO, there's a snapshot, and then we can actually have, because the beauty of doing this NFT controls structure and then having a snapshot is that with Zodiac we can actually control different vaults. So it's one DAO controlling different vaults with different purposes, and they can have different governance rules. So you can have one that's quadratic, you can have one that's direct, you can have one that's one person, one vote. Like this structure that I presented is just a wire. Like imagine like a wire structure where you can hang a lot of other governance avenues on. And that's why the Lisbon Meta Hub, because we need a place where people can come and just like work intensely. So I'm like, there's a sentence I really like, which is like, you can keep water at 99 degrees and never at perfect conditions, perfect pressure conditions, but whatever. There's a moment of certain intensity where things actually change state, and then you have this transformative effect. The Lisbon Meta Hub is a space designed to cause that to people that are ready to be in that and need support. So you would have like a place to sleep, you have food, you have all equipment, you have facilitation, you have to legit like take things from 99 degrees to 100 degrees and really like boom, get shit to happen. This is what the type of idea, but right now for me at least it's like this super boring, not boring, but it's unglamorous work of figuring things out, making like how many hours I spent looking at the spreadsheet to make sure that the price that each sponsor paid fell into a logic scale of decaying influence. So like basically the first master sponsor, the people who paid the cheapest for governance, and then it starts to decay, blah, 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 right? And it like somebody has to sit down and look at that shit. And I'm not the right person to do it, but I at least had help from several elders, and it got there. Like it made sense. The day, like when I saw the number 10,000 government points and how they fell together, and I was like, oh, finally, fuck. It was such a great day. And so this moment for us is kind of the annoying moment of like Iris is in the call here as well. Kurimaya. She's like the first Lisbon team person, and we're working from my house every day until we get the meta hub. So a lot of the things you guys are seeing with the Dawn design and things, and what was the thing that you did before as well? I don't know, like a lot of the things that are coming out already are flavor in it. And this team will grow, and basically have like a reality where you're watching this communications team just like running around and facilitating people and creating all of these initiatives. And you the difference is that when you want to come and visit this reality, you can say, yo, I have governance in this. I want to book a dorm, a bed in the Lisbon Meta Hub for a week, and you're going to be able to do it. You know, and so I think this is going to be super cool.
And it makes me think again, like, I don't know if you saw what I wrote and the launch talk. I think it's really crucial to like involve somehow, like, or at least give the opportunity to the volunteers, because they really kick ass like in the events to be part of the governance. And I think like this is already being thought out, but I just wanted to voice it so we
No, it actually
discuss
hasn't
it.
been thought out, but that's why the future emissions is there. I think volunteers also should have their own, and like there should be a percentage of sponsorships for event XYZ. Like in an ideal world with a lot of adoption where people actually vote and stuff like this, each DAOist could have its own DAO that receives the sponsorships of that event, and there's a programmatically split that would, you know, this is all available. Like if Mirror can, we can do it. We can fork that contract to actually have a automatic split, you know. So a certain percentage go to the DAOist, which is governed by Core and governed by John, and then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super interesting. I haven't looked totally into it, but I was kind of studying that research. All about bounty contracts, and if you think about Mirror like a bounty contract, it's like, okay, it needs this thing and this thing to be put into it, these names, and then they have to agree, and then some money comes through, and then it works out. I think that's all super interesting. But just to come back on the volunteer thing and my experience at the DAOist, it was like I came like the day before and spent the whole day working, putting tables together and stuff like that. But that was part of the best bit for me. The next day was also great, but actually the volunteer bit at the beginning, where I got to meet a whole bunch of people and chat Web3 and DAOs all day, which is what I like doing, is like was great. So I think incorporating a little bit of that vibe into the Discord, if possible, to kind of say, hey, here's some place for people to do a little job, or this is something which needs to be done on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. Whoever wants to come in and jump in for an hour and work, like set it up into pair groups, like 2 people working on something for a little bit and then rotate and show what you did.
Look, we're actually looking for somebody to lead a constantly running volunteer program, because we realize a lot of the volunteers are the same people. They go to all the events. They want to become master volunteers. There might be also like a set for those and a way to get into the governance via that way. So if you want to chat on how to design this, I think me, Inga, Gama would be into it. Like for example, David is here, but he has been like a supporter. Like I'm gonna say something that potentially is gonna make fun of him, but it's not. It's like something that I deeply respect. One time, somebody impersonated me asking for funds. They researched my story. They said about like family in Brazil, blah, blah, blah. And David was the only person who sent them. I don't know how much at the time, but this is an act of profound love that he made. And I will go forward to defend David forever. Sent money to my scammer. So he's a supporter of the idea of pre-DAOist. So I'm really happy he's in this call now. I don't know why we can't hear you.
No way.
No, he's not muted. He's not muted. Your microphone's not working. Oh, come on. Fix it, David. Shit, we can't hear him.
Yeah, I had that problem once before.
He is muted. I see the little sign of mute.
No, but he wasn't before. Still not working.
So hey, by the way, I wanted to to remind that this maybe gathering to discuss DAO onboarding and DAO onboarding structure more specifically is gearing up. So if anyone's interested to joining, the people who are kind of talking this, I spoke with Rafa, the builder. He's involved in participating. He wants to be participating. Yeah, I think something is gearing up. It's very new, but it's gearing up. And
keep me posted because it sounds a little bit also like the systems reward research. I feel like this is deeply the work that we should be doing. Supporting this collective.
Yes, it is, but it feels like pre-rewarding. This rewarding is
no. I didn't mean the theme. The theme is completely different. This type of work, which is gathering people, assembling people around an issue, and then building knowledge, pushing that knowledge. This is the same, and I think this is super to be doing about anything that we're excited about, or supporting who's doing it, and just every day.
Also, and then since we're speaking about this, and shilling is allowed. I want to let everyone that is in this call know that Prime DAO is looking for contributors, and it's very open right now. It's a very good moment to join. We're taking care of everyone that is joining. So yeah, feel free to call if you have the time and the energy. Come over. Okay, my shilling is done. Prime DAO.
But the DAOist is also looking for contributors, but slowlier, because Prime DAO is another initiative from Collectivo Labs, and because basically, guys, the DAOist was an accident, right? Our job was working at Prime DAO. So I'm trying to not take too much attention from the team and allowing them, because Prime DAO is going to make some big moves now. So I'm a little bit alone at the DAOist at the moment, and all the team is divided between Prime and the DAOist. I'm the only one who's I'm the only one who's full time the DAOist at the moment.
I care a lot about it and put in a lot of energy as well. Yes. Yeah, this event was so amazing. In Lisbon, it was so inspiring. Everyone that was there, really looking forward to keep doing it. So it's happening amazing. So by the way, Chui, since you are now at home, do you want to share a bit what's going on in Mexico? Do you have anything to tell us? It's okay if you don't, but would love to hear.
Okay. A really good friend recommended me this amazing venue that I couldn't remember from some years ago. And I just had a call with them this morning, and they are shutting down, so they're not going to be available for March. However, they pointed me in the direction of some really, really nice venues. I wanted to have some updates for tomorrow's call. Sorry that I can't give any new information today, but hopefully for next Monday's call, I'm going to have more stuff around that. And yeah, I really need to put together the basic pitch for what we want to achieve, what's going to consist of. DAOist Mexico City, we don't think is going to be a full DAOist event as we know them, especially because Mexico is very, very new ground like in the DAO space. Definitely, we are lagging behind the rest of Latin America a lot. But yeah, I feel that we can have like a very like successful event, like between maybe 200, 400 people at the most. We can offer some basic like insights in like, you know, like a more basic event, like around like what is a DAO, and like different DAOs are going to be like presenting here. So how can you contribute to, you know, like take it down like a notch in a way, make it more like as an informative event for communities rather than a crypto centered event. And yeah, like take also the time. I found what Gamma said very interesting about getting to put together like more culture and support with more cultural sides of the event. So I'm 100% around that. Like I would ultimately love to offer like a hybrid of like a DAO conference with a small music festival. But yeah, like I'll see how that starts coming together, and yeah, like this is gonna become a priority in the next couple of weeks, so that I can have like at least like a first version of the proposal before December, and in case everyone likes it, then we would like to move forward with some of these points. Yeah, well, so that we are able to do it and also replicate events like this, like not full DAOists, but like half DAOists in different places in Latin America. I mean, it's a land of DAOs that don't know that they are DAOs yet, because the system has like given them the back for so many years, and they always like found their way. So I mean, essentially, it's going to be very, very exciting to have this event in Mexico City. So yeah, thanks for letting me share some stuff about this. I promise I'll have more progress for next week. So if you're interested in this topic, please, yeah, make sure you join the ecosystem call.
Thank you, Chui.
Sounds very good.
Yeah, I think it's cool to focus it around activating communities there. In the past, all the DAO events were focused on this, but they were always like attached to a platform that was trying to sell their tech, and this is not a thing anymore. And I'm very happy about it. So, guys, I think we're good. I think we don't need to go the full 8 minutes that are left, unless somebody has some final announcements that they want to make.
I was just it was just making me think about Mexico, and like I reckon, are there lots of cooperatives in Mexico? It's like a heavily cooperative. Yeah, there's like shitloads of cooperatives, right? It's a whole load of them, and that's like a whole use case which I haven't necessarily seen being pushed yet, because they say, you know, start with community. You've already got a community with a cooperative, and if you can flip that over towards the DAO space, you've got instant value, instant goodwill. It's like a crazy way for them to develop a whole load of money, like they did with ENS for their community. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's this program in Mexico City that is very interesting for cooperatives. They get like 20,000 pesos, I think, like twice per year or something like this, but just by having like some requirements. So even like kickstarting something with low liquidity could be even like government incentivized in a way, and there are no like regulations around. I mean, there are some like follow-ups about how they use these funds, of course, but they are not like really like into. I mean, they wouldn't mind at all if these funds were went to a common pool from a DAO. So yeah, cooperatives is something that I don't know if some of you know Humberto Beso from UB, the different UBI projects, but he's from Veracruz, and I met him in ITCC. And we've been in touch a lot, and he is like an expert in cooperatives in Mexico, and he's already like working with some of them. So yeah, the idea is, I mean, if we can build this whole event in Mexico City around cooperatives instead of like DAOs or like degens and I don't know, like maybe like some NFT artists or but make it more focused about that, right? Like not like a money centered event or anything like that. Like that's my worst fear, to be honest. For this to not come off as an event for communities, but for people that are interested in stuff that communities stay away from.
Were you at the Platform Co-ops conference by any chance in Berlin?
No, I was not.
Okay. Because I was there and I'm quite heavily involved with the co-op scene, the platform co-op scene, which is sort of headed up by Trevor Schultz, if you can put it that way. And I think what I realized is there's a lot to learn if those two communities are bridged. So maybe that's something for the DAOist as well. And quite a few of the challenges I think that co-ops have been working on for quite a while, sometimes seem to be seen as new with DAOs. And what I realized is like the co-ops don't seem to have a solid understanding of what's happening in the DAO space. So I don't know if we're exploring this, but there's definitely a lot that can be learned on both sides from each other.
Yes, actually, Sacha, if you could DM me a link to the COP scene, I would really appreciate it because I can find it in a quick Google.
Yeah, I'll send it.
So
and we can definitely set up a call as well. I work with Trevor directly, so that's definitely something we can speak about.
I'll connect you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool initiative. I've walked that space between like trying to onboard co-ops in Berlin. I'm heavily frustrated by that work. I don't have patience anymore. I'm still trying to solidify the DAO space itself. But if you're like still have the energy, go for it. That's all right.
Well, I'm losing that energy right now because you are highly motivated.
I mean,
so
ich war Schatzmeister vor einem Verein in Berlin. Landzeiten war nicht toll. Nicht.
Like I'm realizing that already. Like it's a very slow scene, and there are things that can be learned. But yeah, I mean, things take a lot of fucking time. It's true.
You want to see me leave a room? Allow structured ideology to enter. I will fucking be out of there really fast. Like really fast. I only serve one leader, it's nature. The rest can go fuck themselves. Guys, I'm gonna hop off.
Great end note, Felipe.
I'm gonna hop off, and I have another call that I lost half of it already, and I'm happy that room. I really still want you guys to talk as much as you can. Hopefully in a day this will, like, hopefully someday we're gonna have to tell people to shut up. So thank you very much for the attention and everything, and see you soon.
Bye.
Yes, so everyone, I'm gonna stick around a little bit if anyone wants to keep chatting. Let's talk a bit about themselves.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yes, are you doing
it's my birthday party now.